The next speaker will be Anita Wasilewska from the University of Stony Brook in New York. Okay, welcome.
Hello. I really enjoy my colleague talk, and I'm very happy that we are sort of connected, because his talk was about the history and the future of technology, and I had similar idea, but I trace the history of thinking, because I am a theoretician, so we sort of talk about the same thing, because you cannot have the progress of technology without the progress of thinking. So, and also it shows that anniversaries are special moments. So that's why we converge on history-future theme. So I'm very happy to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me. So you'll learn a little bit more about me, because I'm talking about the history. Okay, first of all, I would like to express my really gratitude to Cavallonga and Raphael. First for Cavallonga, Professor Cavallonga Bezan, because she shared her PhD student, Ernestina Metasalvas. She cannot be here today. And so I became her co-advisor, and that's how I am here. So and then that started our 12 years of collaboration. And I will just brush a little bit about that. And also, thank you very much, Raphael, for all the years of support, gentility, and friendship. And of course, I'm honored to be here. And I'm very grateful for such recognition you gave me by inviting me here. So this is like the idea that we all have scientific history, but also we all build the history, and the future belongs to us, especially to you, because you are next generations, but also the past belongs to us. So this is like the main theme of my talk. So the little history, Ernestina came in 1998 to Stony Brook, as a part of our collaboration, and she came in 1996. In 98, I came for the first time to Madrid, and in a sense, I've never left. So it really is a very special place for me. But also what I want to say, that our collaboration is very special. As any collaboration is special, but in our case, it was extremely interesting, because people in Madrid, my colleagues in Madrid, were posing questions, foundational questions to me, which had a very deep source in their practical work. And somehow I tried to solve those problems, and that's how we still work together. So we went from building models for concrete implementation. That's how it started. And then once you build the foundation, we started to build more. And so we developed a general language for foundation of data mining. That was years ago, where that field didn't exist yet. And finally, we went to building a general foundational model for data mining as a field, as general, as the whole field. And it was a long process, because building chips and computers and technology is also a long process, as we saw from the previous talk, but building thinking also is a long process, and it takes years and patience to develop it. And slowly, because we were the small group trying to do it, foundation of data mining finally is established as a scientific field. The last two books are very influential, and I am editor one of them. So that is just to tell you that we all build the scientific history, and it takes time and patience to do so, because our history is our last 12 years history, which is, it took 12 years to build something which resembles a science. So our pioneer work in data mining foundation matured over those years, and I just want to show you how we get the recognition. We were invited to submit an entry about our research to Springer Encyclopedia of Complexity System Sciences. And this is a very prestigious encyclopedia which will appear in 2008, and they invited people they sort of decided to represent their research, and so I am very honored that our research is presented there. And you can see I just listed few of board of editors. You have all Nobel laureates, and I didn't have enough room. There were more of them. So you have Nobel in chemistry, Nobel in economics, Turing Award. Turing Award is the Nobel in computer science. And Field Medal. Field Medal is a Nobel for mathematics. So Nobel didn't put mathematics and computer science. So these are equivalent prizes for mathematics is Field Medal, and for computer science, Turing Award. And Lev Lofty-Zadek, that's probably how I came about. But also what I want to show that, which I was very happy, I was very happy not for me, because I've been working for so long that, you know, it's not that, it's pleasant, but it's not that essential. But it shows that the need for foundational studies in newly developing domains is important. And that I found because I am a foundational person, and our work was in foundation, that is recognition of the need of foundational studies in newly developing domains. So I think it's very important. So because I want to say a bit of history of foundational studies, it's not that long. The origin comes from David Hilbert, the biggest mathematician, some people think ever, but also he's the most influential mathematician. So he did two things which stayed with us. He posed in 1900, there was a Paris conference, International Conference of Mathematics, and he was the biggest mathematician of that time, and he was asked to give a talk. So he posed 23 problems for the future century. And these are called Hilbert Problems. Several of them, I listed them here, got solved. And, you know, if you solve in the history Hilbert problem, you are the history. So some of them were solved, some of them were not sufficiently well formulated, and there are still two problems, number 8, the Riemann hypothesis, and number 12, unresolved. They are both in number theory. So that was Hilbert Problems. But also he formulated, which is more connected with computer science, he formulated in 1920, a little bit later, a research project, which became known as a Hilbert program. So Hilbert wanted mathematics to be formulated on a solid and complete logical foundation. That was a time of the development of logic. He believed that, in principle, this could be done by showing that all mathematics follow from correctly chosen finite system of axioms, and that some such axioms are probably consistent. And he also believed, and that is computer science, everything is computer science at the end, that one can have such system in which proofs of theorems can be deduced from the way that theorems are built, deduced in automatic way. So what happened in 1931, Kurt Gödel showed that 1 and 2 is impossible as stated. It means it proves what is called Gödel incompleteness theorem, that any non-contradictory formal system which was comprehensible enough to include at least arithmetic cannot demonstrate its own completeness by the way of the axioms. So it doesn't mean that the arithmetic, anyway, so that is that we need to assume consistency or completeness of a larger system to show consistency. We believe that mathematics is consistent. We can prove that arithmetic is consistent, but we have to assume consistency of a little bit larger theory. So that was, so it wasn't negative, but it was stating exactly what it is. And in 33-34, Gerhard Gentzen gave a positive answer to 3 in a case of classical propositional logic and intuitionistic logic, and partially positive answer in a case of semi-undecidable predicate logic. So, and that started the automated theorem proving. And of course, Gödel developed recursion theory and then mathematical logic as a foundation of mathematics. And Gentzen, as I mentioned, led to development of proof theory, automatic theorem proving, which is a big field in computer science. And also Gödel inspired the works of Church and Alan Turing, the one from Turing Award, that became base of theoretical computer science. And also, and that's what I want to talk also, is the creation and development of unique phenomenon called the Polish School of Mathematics. It's not only because I'm Polish, I am Polish, but and I grew up in that, I descend of that school. But also when you see, it is amazing what happened, and it's good to know that things like that can happen. And also, it has a very deep history, which I'm going to talk about later. And also I realized that now Ernestina, PhD students, are new descendants of the Polish School of Mathematics, hence the choice of the subject, because the future of Polish School of Mathematics and many, many other historical people is now in the hands of Madrid Polytechnic. So I want to. So my short history, I studied mathematics at Warsaw University in '61. I started. I also studied computer science, and I got my degree in computer science. Was first program in computer science in '62, so one of the first in the world. So I did it by curiosity. And then I started to work as a faculty with Professor Rasiova, and you will hear about her, in the group Logic and Foundation of Computer Science Division. And then I departed to the United States in 1980 to visit mathematics departments at Yale, at Wesleyan University. I was invited for a year, and I like this sentence. So I'm going to read it carefully because it took me time to write this sentence. The world and Polish politics intervened, and what was supposed to be a one-year visit became a new life in a new country. So there is, of course, 1980, solidarity, and so on. I was a dissident in Poland, so I was put on the list of imprisoned people, so I couldn't come back, and so on. So I couldn't come back to Poland until the communist collapse. And so that was the Polish politics. It means my involvement in politics, but this is a different subject. So a new life also encompassed a new profession, because in 1986 I joined the faculty at computer science department, and I am a computer scientist. But also living in a new country, I realized that my Warsaw mathematics world was special, and I missed it. And what I want to say, that I found some of that in Madrid. For 12 years, I've been coming here, at least for 3 weeks a year, and I felt really like home. So Madrid Polytechnic became my new home away from home, and I'm very, very grateful, and thank you very much. So it's not the end. So now I will tell you something about Polish School of Mathematics. The term Polish School of Mathematics refers to a group of mathematicians of the 1920s and 30s working on a common subject. That's a definition. There were two main groups. One was Warsaw and others Lwów. That was in Poland, which at that time and now is in Ukraine. And also you talk about Warsaw School and Lwów School of Mathematics and Warsaw Lwów School of Logic, working in Warsaw. I descend of Warsaw Lwów School of Logic. And if you look, this is a citation. Any list of important 20th century mathematicians contains Polish name in a frequency out of proportion to the size of the country. And that's true. It's just what happened was amazing. And what happened, Poland didn't exist. You know, in 1795, Poland was partitioned between Austria, Prussia, and Russia, and ceased to exist for over 200 years. And then suddenly there was Poland in 1918, and also there was Polish science. And it was all possible because it was carefully planned, agreed upon, and executed. And when you, I better just go very fast. In 1917, it was already the end of the First World War, and it was already pretty sure that Poland will exist as an independent country. So they started to think what to do. And then they stated the following thing: a commission should be formed to undertake the organization of mathematics. A center for mathematical research should be created. Majority of mathematicians should concentrate their work on a single branch of mathematics. International journal of mathematics should be created. The journal should be accepting papers. It was in 1917, so now that's what we are doing. But in 1917, nobody ever thought about it. And then also they wanted to create a monograph series, which they did. All this, the Poland got independence, and those plans was completely implemented in newly restored Poland, and a remarkable creative mathematics community started to flourish. So they created first mathematical research center in Warsaw. That's why you talk about Warsaw School of Mathematics. And they choose not one field: logic, set theory, point set topology, now called Polish topology, and real functions and area of concentration. And they created a journal in 1920, Fundamenta Mathematica. It was the first specialized mathematical journal in the world. And the choice of even title in the journal means they decided to concentrate on foundational studies. And, you know, now foundational studies are everywhere, but at that time, they decided to work on areas which were not popular at all. They were the future. You know, that was just the beginning of foundational studies, because Gödel result was 31. And they did it in 1917. So Hilbert program was being created. So they really had foresight to choose areas which were not popular at all. And that's why, and they did it, and they became the strongest areas for the new century. So, and, you know, you can go, I mentioned few names. Alfred Tarski, he left, he went to visit Berkeley, he went to visit America just before the German invasion, and he stayed, he was Jewish, so he survived and stayed in America, and he created Berkeley School, or American School of Foundation of Mathematics. Anybody who is really very important in America, including Dada Scott, descends from Tarski. Rashova, she was a student of Mostovsky, who was a student of Tarski. In 1977, she founded Fundamenta Informatica, the first world journal specialized in foundation of computer science. So again, the choice of title was deliberate. And also, that was the continuation, direct continuation into a new domain, into computer science, of the tradition of Polish School of Mathematics. So Rashova was first one to realize the great importance of foundational studies in computer science. And she led with Pawlak, again, a foundation of computer science seminar. I joined that seminar in '62, so I spent my scientific life as a part of it. And Pawlak became a founder again of a new area of computer science, which are called rough sets. And when we started rough sets, there were 5 of us. And now there are thousands and thousands of people all over the world. So, tracing the history. So we all have history, and we are all mathematicians, even if you don't like. So I use the mathematics genealogy project. Here is the link to it, and I'll show you what I found. The mission statement says that throughout this project, when we use the word mathematics or mathematician, we mean that word in a very inclusive way. Thus, all relevant data from statistics, computer science, operational research, even physics is welcome. So it's an amazing project. Computer science has a classification, 68 computer science. So this is also like sort of appeal to everybody that if you have a PhD student, you should go and input all your PhD students there, and of course the data about yourself. And then it's really very interesting. So it have 127,000 records on October 24th. And they solicit information, so I do some publicity for them. And for them and the history, we are all mathematicians. So what I did, because I knew that I was in that project, and I knew that I was part of Warsaw School of Mathematics, and I knew the importance of that. So I started to search. And so the links, and I will show you some things I found. 2 people in the sequence are listed in all the PhD student advisor. You know, when you go down to 15th century, some of them are master students, but some of them are Doctor of Philosophy. So also what I found, because I was the second advisor of Ernestina, so I found that a lot of people had 2 advisors, not more than 2. So that's why if you trace how far your ancestors, you can have different paths. So advisor 1 is listed on the list as 1, and advisor name, advisor 2 is listed 2. And here I made a joke, which the mathematician would say, and this is my mathematical joke. For any element A of the sequence, if A has more than 1 advisor, then for any K between 1 and n, an advisor K is listed as K dot number, name of the advisor K, and the number in front of the name is omitted otherwise. So this is a correct statement of the listing. I say this is a joke because my mathematician friends, I gave them my paper to read, they liked it very much. And they said, "You made fun of mathematicians." I said, "No, it's my private joke." So first link is to Nicholas Copernicus. Here you have Ernestina, PhD Madrid, Polytechnic, 98. I was the second advisor, and then my only advisor was Helena Rashova. And then her advisor was Alfred Tarski, who second advisor was Tarski. And then this is one of, these are all creators of Polish School of Mathematics. Wasilewski, Lwów, he was a student of Twardowski, and here it's very interesting, because when you look at those, you can see the splits. Twardowski, he is a father of Polish School of Mathematics. He did PhD in Vienna in Franz Clemens Brentano. And that is a very strong link. And then Brentano is from second advisor, because I put it bold, is in Leipzig, and Groningen you go a little bit down, but Brentano is very important link. And it's amazing. You keep going. Right here you have Johann August Bach, which is one of Johann Sebastian Bach, and so on and so on. You go down, down, and then you get into Nicolaus Copernicus. The direct link, so anybody who does PhD with Ernestina, so descends in direct way from Copernicus. We have a nice history. This is what PhD means. And I remember when I got my PhD at Warsaw University, they put me only once in a gown, and there was the rector, and they made me swear in Latin. I had to repeat sentence by sentence. In between, that I will not do science for profit. And I still hold that promise. And also I felt that I joined a community. I knew that I didn't know that my community was so rich and so long-standing, but I knew that it was rich, and it was long-standing. And I think it applies to anybody who gets any PhD or master degree, or anybody who finishes university. You join a very large and deep community. And it carries joy, but also obligation. So then I went a little bit more, and so that was the oldest. So the oldest ancestor of Ernestina is 1375. And then it's unknown. And this is all documented, it's not, so then there's more ancestry. So I got first. I found the link to Immanuel Kant. You can see here, Copernicus has only 1,598 ancestors. So some of, you will see some of them have a lot. So it's a quite exclusive group. Like, it's very interesting because Immanuel Kant has 100 or 2,000 ancestors. Erasmus of Rotterdam, the Erasmus, click, 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 here's Erasmus, has 57 ancestors. And here's the link. And it goes only. So these are very long links, but when you go back and you see how it happened, you see this is also goes to Brentano. Okay, I finished. So, shorter links is through pure mathematics. We go to Laplace and D'Alembert, and Émile Borel, Leonard Euler, which has 52,000, but this is a different, purely mathematical. Liszewskie Cournot supérieur with Lebec and so on. So mathematicians, pure mathematics, has short ancestry because it's a shorter, it's not that long field. You go to Copernicus through Brentano, who was a philosopher. So when you get into foundational studies, go into philosophy. And also because we are computer scientists, so I was very happy to find that Ernestina descends also from Andrei Markov, of the Markov models and Markov chains and all machine learning and so on. So this is our Russian. And also I started that there are 30 professors in my department, and I found that I am cousin. It means we have common ancestors somewhere with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10 of my colleagues. Some of them, 11, some of them I suspected because they are foundational studies, but some of them, Larry Whitty does architecture. So I was very surprised. And also, I got a few more cousins. I don't want to list all of them. Yes, I am a cousin of Alan Turing and also Church, Ulam, and so on, many, many others. So, future belongs to you. And my immediate future is mobile computing for informal economies. I went to Senegal, and we are developing software for the poorest of the poorest on mobile phones, so I wonder what my ancestors would think about that. Thank you very much.